quick message to fans. Corey Hilton.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties
Oh, say it again.
in the previous. Let me make sure that wire right there, right? There we go.
Oh Lord.
So we here, man. We sorry about the technical difficulties in the last stream. I feel like I gave my day a -1. You said yours was a 1.
Yeah.
It's like this motherfucker want to get a lower rate. I'm like, that was the one thing I was enjoying. I was like, this is going right. We was going good on the topic, talking about some good shit.
Bro.
And then the connection is on. I remember. It's not coming up?
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, I switched that joint. I remember. It's not coming up? Yeah, that sounds beautiful right there.
I had it low. I forgot. I didn't want to learn.
That sounds beautiful right there. So, yeah, we're just gonna try and get right back into what we was talking about. We sorry about that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We was having some technical difficulties, and it was some bullshit. But we was talking about John Jones. We was talking about you. You said John Jones has every right to ask for more money. But you didn't say Jorge Masvidal had every right. So go ahead and explain yourself.
Look, man. I said, look, John, he has every right, but he doesn't because of his past. So, like, if anything, what he's asking isn't bad, but Dana's looking at it like, yo, bro, like, we gave you so many chances, like, chill out. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so you know what I mean? And you beat Nate Diaz camp or something. Stop it. I'm not saying I think Jose Masvidal deserve my fault, man. I'm sorry, y'all. Deserves more money, but not OD. He shouldn't get more than John numbers, and he's winning. I'm like, Jose Masvidal's gotten worked in the past 3 years. Am I lying?
You're not lying, but that's kind of where I would want to come in when it comes to this is the numbers aspect. I think we boost John Jones' popularity just a little bit. I think we was talking about maybe 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? This was a guy that you would not want to lose. But I think if we're talking about now in this day and age, I don't think it would be a big deal if John Jones says, you know what I'm saying, he's threatening, oh, I'm going to sit out 2 to 3 years until you pay me. I don't think the UFC is like, oh, my God, we need John. Without him, we're not going to sell any motherfucking pay-per-views.
See, what John don't understand is
John don't even sell that many
pay-per-views right there.
Now. It's not even about Izzy. Every other champion right now with the belt is probably either just as popular as him, is more popular as him.
You think?
Absolutely. No one's trying to see John Jones fight like that.
I feel like people tune in and know.
They tune in to see if he's going to lose. That's it. And it's not to the aspect that when Floyd was doing it, because Floyd was a bad guy. Floyd, he found a way to monetize a certain image. John Jones hasn't done that. That's why he doesn't have crazy numbers. He should be Conor McGregor level if he's really found a way to, like, if he found a way to really monetize that bad boy image, crazy. Everyone be talking about John Jones in a different light.
Is his PR?
It's not his PR. It's just who he is. Because at the end of the day, his PR can't tell him how to act, how to be in press conference. It's all on you at the end of the day. So I'm like, in my opinion, John isn't, no one, like, people are only watching that shit to see if he's going to lose or if he's going to win. It's not necessarily to see, like, yo, I really want to see John fight. Especially with his last 2 to 3 performances. No one's,
Maybe in that regard, but I'm like, before those performances, bro, people was looking forward to looking at for John.
They were doing it because he hadn't fought in so long.
So you tell me beforehand nobody was looking forward to looking at watching John?
I didn't say beforehand. I'm saying during the time period where he was getting into trouble, like when he fought DC that first time, right before he fought DC, and he already got into a little bit of trouble. But then when he fought DC the first time and the big shit came out when it came to that, you know what I'm saying, depending on what your perspective is, and then kind of just after that, it was just like he was in, out, all this type of shit. The only reason people went to see him fight because one, he was gone for so damn long, so they went to see if he was still who he was. And another part of it is that whole scandal side of it. Like, damn, he did get popped for this, so how is he gonna look if supposedly he's not on it now? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, a lot of it was a whole bunch of different factors that had nothing to do with John Jones himself. When before all that happened, it was all about everyone wanting to see John. People now, they're not trying to see it. They want to see John. It's like, we want to see John because, you know what I'm saying? Is he gonna look the same? He old now. Like, trust me.
He for sure don't fight the same.
No, he doesn't. One, because he is older. Two, because he hasn't been as consistent in the ring. Three, because obviously it's not the same type of testing. I'm not saying he was taking anything. I'm just saying, like, we've been. Like, this is a perfect segue. This is a perfect segue because if we were actually in our sound like we always have, so we're sorry about not having the crispy sound for the last podcast. But if we're going to talk about all the instances that we've seen John Jones actually get drug tested and failed, and in the latter, we're being told by one of the most respected and highest vetted organizations when it comes to drug testing in USADA that, hey, this is because it's leftover, it's small amount of traces left over from when he last took it, and it's not enough in his system for it to actually be effective in his performance. But our tests are so good that we are able to this day still say things about it. Back in the day, we watched the man fight, and when he won, no one questioned it. How are you going to feel the way we feel about Big Baby Miller when he tests positive for the same exact drug that he tests positive for the Anthony Joshua fight? Now, there was one thing that I was corrected on when it came from Zen, when it came to that particular drug. Well, not necessarily the drug, but the time frame. I thought it was less than a year. We ended up finding out it was actually more than a year. It's about a year and 2 to 3 months. Right. So in my opinion, I'm saying to myself, oh, if it's less than a year, then most likely you think it's out of your system. And if you don't know about cycles like that, and you think you were injected with something that you had nothing about, know nothing about, you would think close to a year. You think it would be about a year and 2 months. Now that is a long time frame, but at the same time, you do not know how anyone's body works. You don't know how much of the actual drug, so on and so forth, if you want to call it, was injected. How much of it was injected into him. His story is that he had an elbow injury. He went and got stem cells. Someone told him this was a good treatment and got put it in. And that's where you found the HGH and the, I'm sorry, I can't remember. It was GW, but I'm not going to say the wrong thing. But it was a type of SARM. If you guys don't know about SARMs, SARMs are basically a more safe way of taking a performance enhancing drug that's not on the level of steroids. You're not going to harm for this particular test. So I'm like, if you guys are going to be willing to allow John Jones to have the same excuse and same exact substance, as in the same thing that they found in his body that he had been given, took willingly, whatever it may be the case, we don't know. He said it was given to him and he had no recollection. So that's what I'm gonna go off of because we have no other evidence to prove otherwise. I believe it's from that same stand. It's just shit like this is gonna happen. You can use that same excuse, you can use that same reasoning, whatever you may want to call it, for John Jones, obviously. But we don't need to because John Jones was allowed to fight. So there's no reason for me to even go back on that and even talk on that. What we're talking about is Big Baby. And you have to be very in the States. I'm sorry I'm going so long. It's the same thing we may not call in the UK. You seen when Billy Joe got popped. Billy Joe got popped because he was gonna when he was supposed to fight goddamn Demetrius Andrade, and he ended up getting popped, right? But what he took, it was a form of speed, so on and so forth, but also it was kind of like a fat burner, something that was allowed with the UK anti-doping organization, but it wasn't allowed over with VADA in the US, right? Mm-hmm. There's differences in things. So some would say, oh, you're a drug cheat, while others would say, well, it's allowed over here, so how is he a drug cheat? It's the same thing. Fluids being IV fluids put into you. There, you can have that possible in the UK where you have an exemption and be like, hey, I feel lightheaded. The weight cut was a little bit too much for me. Can I get some IVs? Where you can't do that over in the US. So it's just it's all perspective. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm talking a little bit too much. Go ahead. Do you have anything to say when it comes to the Big Baby Miller situation?
You want me to? How you feel about TJ Dillashaw? Before I answer that.
As in, do I think he knowingly cheat or like do I?
How you feel about him right now? Like,
Like will I accept him back into the sport? Absolutely. Yeah. No, I feel no ways about it. Like, when it comes down to it, I do believe that he knowingly took EPO simply to not only help with his cardio, but help with his weight cut as well. To go down to 125, because if you guys never followed TJ's career, he actually started at that weight class when he was an Ultimate Fighter. And I remember when he fought John Dodson, the only reason why he lost by TKO was because his chin was weak at that weight. So I get down to that weight. And TJ, he acknowledged it himself. He didn't deny it. He said, I took it, you know what I'm saying? And it helped me get down to that weight. It is what it is. Like, a lot of people get so hurt about it because they don't really know nothing about sports or they're not in it. They're like, you're trying to kill a man. Woo. You don't understand how many people, majority of the athletes are, if they're not taking something, they took something, or they have more money or they're a lot smarter about it. Don't be stupid. Go ahead.
So how do you feel about him though? Like,
is he still one of my favorite fighters? Yes.
Well, I'm about to hurt both your favorite fighters.
All right, go in.
You said your point is that John Jones, you want to use the same excuse for Big Baby Miller, the same thing that happened to John Jones with the thing still being in his system.
You have to at least take it into consideration. Yes.
That's what you, okay. So, only reason I asked you that because I'm like, what if Big Baby knew? Like, look, I just feel like him and TJ was backwards. TJ the first time was smart, didn't get caught, and was ever having a chance. Big Baby thought he knew what he was doing and got caught. And so this time around, he tried to start earlier, but them traces probably, you could use it, but I think he still tried to do it, but he did it earlier. So it would have some, lasting effects by the time he fought. That's what I'm saying. I'm playing devil's advocate because I'm like, he got caught the first time. He admitted it. You saying that, his doctor, I'm like, why did you let somebody else? Like, look at big Baby. Is you telling me that doctor forced that shit into him? Or did he willingly take that shit?
Nah, I told you the story was he was having elbow problems. He was having elbow problems. He had a fight coming up. He didn't want to do surgery because if he did surgery, he wouldn't be able to have the fight. So someone said, hey, come get these stem cells from this doctor. They put the stem cells in them, and then he ended up finding that shit in it that wasn't legal. That's the story.
You don't know, man. All I'm saying is, I just feel like, why is it that he got popped for the same thing? If it was something different, then I'd be like, I bet. But why the same thing though? But it's been longer.
I'm more. If it was something different, I'd be like, man, this nigga really using shit. The fact that it was the same thing that makes me think that.
But I'm like, it's been over like a year and a half, like some change since he got busted. So I'm like, you think it lasts that long?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm like, John was only about like a 5-month period from when he fought next.
But he took a different drug and didn't take the same one.
So EPO will last long, you think?
Well, he got popped for EPO, HGH, and a SARM.
This last time too?
Well, this last time he just got caught for that SARM.
Okay.
Yeah, so some people can argue, well, damn, maybe he was like, well, if I just take the SARM, it's gonna be out of my system by the time I'm ready to fight. And that wasn't out of the system.
That's all I'm saying. He chose the wrong one. I'm like, because with TJ, you told me, you was like, I think he knew both times. That's what I'm saying. Big Baby never got a shot. That's the only difference.
TJ only got popped once.
But I'm saying because he was smart on how he did it the first time.
Nah, well, see, it's not about the first time, smart, nothing like that. If you think most of these motherfuckers ain't taking it, it's like a lot of these athletes. How come they didn't get caught? The same reason why TJ didn't get caught the first time.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't TJ get caught the first time?
Because you saw what came to the John Jones shit where he got traces of the metabolic bullshit. He was like, they was like, every year we're getting more advanced testing and we can trace things. That's all I'm saying. But that's my synopsis on the whole entire
situation. You want to talk
situation.
about Deontay brother?
Oh yeah, that's right. So I'm gonna make this quick. I'm not really gonna talk about this too much. I hate the streams looking like this because I think the first one was like what 19 minutes, 20 minutes, and this one's like another 19 minutes. So it's like broken up. Normally it should be 40, 45. So there's always something, man.
Told you, man.
It's always something. And I'm like, for this day of all days, there's a reason.
I told you, bro.
This day of all days. This has been a smooth. If we had to say the first stream, this has been a smooth 40 minutes. A good podcast. Again.
It just went perfect. Oh my god, bro! Didn't I remember I told you what happened? Think about that, and then with this is like what? Why? Why is the communication not right? What's going on out here, y'all?
We gonna get you right because it don't make sense. We got literally everything off. This is the only thing that's using the internet, so there's no way there should have been
only thing.
Disruption in the connection. But that's what happened. So we sorry about that.
Remember,
today I didn't even go and turn off my fucking laptop, desktop. Today I did it. Made it worse. Made it worse. Throw a like, goddamn, if y'all just went up in here because we talking that shit. We're talking about young Marcelio Wido, I believe is the name. He said, and this is a summary because obviously I'm not gonna. I just don't feel like trying to bring it up word for word, so I'm not gonna give y'all the exact accuracy of what he said, but y'all can look it up. It's pretty big, a popular topic. Him himself, he said that his brother got excuse me, how you say
autopsy?
Autopsy. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a couple drinks in, so I was saying it perfect before all this. Y'all, you heard me say it.
Autopsy.
Absolutely. And first and foremost, we know his brother ain't dead, so that's the wrong word to use too. He said that the doctor said he has a dent in his head, and it was created from something that was obviously blunt force, but it could not have been from a punch. How do you feel about that?
See, he said what?
He said he has a dent in his head that there's no way it could have been from a hand. It had to be from blunt force of an object. How do you feel about that?
Are you trying to show him that his head is strong?
Do you know about Tyson for glove gate?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So he's basically kind of adding on that, saying it had to be something off with the gloves for him to be hit and have a dent in his head.
Wilder had a dent in his head?
Yes, his doctor said it's going to be have been done from a punch from a human hand. It had to be done from some type of object.
I don't know if it was an object, but that shit was looking funny. But I don't know if no object. I don't think he had no brass knuckle or no pipe or nothing in his hand or nothing.
Talk about it.
Like, I don't know about all that.
I want you to let it all out because I know you're a Deontay Wilder fanboy. I want to call me Conor McGregor fanboy. This is the Deontay Wilder fanboy. So I want to know your whole entire argument for this.
Hey, bro, I just like Deontay Wilder, right? But all I'm saying is it just looked funny. I can't say something don't look funny. I'm supposed to look at him and be like, oh, well, that's not funny.
How do you feel about what his brother said, though? About the whole
I just told you. Shit. I just said I don't think that was in his hand. The dent is interesting. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Is it my turn?
I mean, if you want it to be your turn, go for it.
So obviously, first and foremost, it said autopsy. I'm like, 2, but that can easily be just a mispronunciation or a misuse of words. 2, because y'all can get on me because earlier I was struggling with it, a little faded. I got it though now. 2, he's saying that he has a dent made by a human punching it. It had to be by some type of object. Can I ask you something, Zen? Is a boxing glove a human's hand?
I got a cushion on it.
Would you consider a boxing glove an object?
I guess because you can say boxing glove. So yeah, it could be an object.
So what do you think might have caused I'm sorry, y'all. What do you think might cause that dent in his head that the doctor's saying that there's no way a human hand punch could do that? But an object.
Look, if he has some, he has some. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to be on nobody's side.
You put on your hand, yes, it has cushion, but you have to understand you can still cause a great amount of damage when they talk about exterior wise to the body because it is an object. if you watch bare knuckle boxing, you have a lot more cuts, a lot more blood because you have the bare knuckles and it's hidden. And obviously, you don't want to break your hand, so you're not going to hit as hard. But if you have a cushion, it's the same thing. It's the same aspect as the NFL that we argue with the NFL. The NFL with rugby, right? Rugby looks a lot more brutal. Bare knuckle boxing looks a lot more brutal. It's a little bit different though because you're really getting hit and get fucked up, so it is brutal. But when you put the aspect of I'm going to put this protection on your hands, I'm going to put this protection on your head, that gives you the incentive that you can go harder or you can hit harder, so far and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Rather than rugby, if I'm going for a tackle, I'm most likely going to use my shoulder first because I don't want to fuck my head up because I don't got nothing protecting it. If I got something that's supposedly protecting my head, I'll probably go head first for a tackle. If I'm fighting someone and I got gloves on, I'm gonna hit a lot harder. I'm gonna throw a lot harder because I know I have that cushion around my hand. I'm not gonna break my hand. And second, I'm just saying that because I've actually worked with someone and they had a dent in their head strictly from they got hit so hard in the head. Now, if the person cheated, they might have cheated. He doesn't say they cheated. They say it was just a fair blow. He has an actual dent. So it's like I've seen. So for them to make that argument, most casuals, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's some fucked up shit. But if you know about, there's niggas who have permanent damage from getting hit that hard. That's all I'm saying. So that would be me saying that I feel like it was actually very tasteless for Marcellus Wilder to even say some shit like that. But at the same time, I understand his point of view because you're gonna ride for not only one, your family and your bro, but you're gonna ride for your camp. Whether you were a sparring partner, whether you were part of it, whether you just a hype man, you're gonna ride for your camp, you're gonna ride for your dogs. That's what it is. But you know what I'm saying? All this extra shit. I'm like, man, let's keep it just strictly on the ring. Like that's the big thing I want to know about too, man. If this fight is really gonna happen this year with everything going on. Because I'm like, the last thing you want to do is see a fight like this happen with no crowd. Like that'd be some trash shit.
That
like,
should be so weak.
The only organization can pull this shit off, pull this whole no fan shit off is the UFC. And the reason why it's the UFC is because they were the only motherfuckers to do it. But I'm like seeing the NBA come back. You see the Lakers, they just got J.R. Smith. Like they about to get him. You know what I'm saying? The NBA's coming back, baseball's coming back, soccer's already back. Limited. You know what I'm saying? Like, how long is this gonna last? How is it gonna end up being? Like, what the fuck is going on?
All I have to say is that
Estrada. Oh, that ain't Estrada.
All I have to say is that was still questionable to me. We're gonna let it rock though.
Shout out to famous Ogun. Motherfuckers have been convicted from a doctor's testimony stating whether injuries are caused by human hands or objects. Okay, famous Ogun. You talking about real world versus something that's ruled by a commission of that state. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about a sport where people sign a contract saying that if I die in the ring, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to sue you. So we're talking about two different things. If I'm walking to the motherfucking store and somebody come up to me with an object and fucks me up or kills me, my family has every right to do what they need to do to get a justice for that. Boxing is different. We know there's something on the hands. We know them things is on the hands, and it's going to be able to allow you to feel a lot more confident, throwing a lot more power and trying to hurt me. Because you might not get no pushback. I got these little 10-ounce gloves on. I can motherfucker destroy you. That's what they sign up to be. That's the difference. A doctor stated that, not the commission. Okay, so we're going to get into this. Absolutely.
All I know is that night is still shaky to me. That's all I got to say right now, man.
So I want you to clarify, because this is what I'm clarifying. You're saying it was stated by a doctor. What I was going into was it was not, the injuries were not sustained by human hands, but by some type of object. Are you saying he was saying that it wasn't by any type of object? You're saying there was no way for him to have some type of dent in his head? Because what I'm going off, I'm telling you, I don't think you heard me when I say I literally trained with someone, held mitts for me. That man has a dent in his head. Motherfucker got hit as hard as a motherfucker. He told me about the story. So don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. We're
Didn't it
talking
be
about a
people that
man
didn't
that's
head?
6'9", weighing over 240 pounds.
Didn't it be people that did not do that though? That was with his knee, of course, but
Shit. That's still an excellent. That's still an excellent point. People underestimate what you can do with your human body and how you can generate a certain amount of force.
I still know what I know. What I think I
Throw a
should
like,
know.
y'all. Throw a like.
Because I don't know if I'm right, but I still don't think things ain't being cleared up to totality. To a degree, it is, but I still don't. I don't know. It's shaky to me. But it is what it is now, and we here. One day I might touch up on it again, but
No. I think we can talk about it a little bit. What do you mean by that?
It's energy, man. It's energy.
Okay. I feel it. You're right. It is getting late.
And I just know you trying to come back. I'm not. I'm not.
We wish it was.
I don't got enough Deontay energy for that tonight.
Hold up. Famous Ogun said Fury doesn't hit hard, so you're saying the doctor is wrong.
One, yeah. How many times has a doctor been wrong in your life that you know about people? Let me know, Zen.
They ain't been 100%.
Absolutely.
The doctor ain't always right. And let me talk about this. Can I talk about this? You're gonna take a doctor's advice on a oh, see, this is why I wish we had a podcast.
Drop a like right there.
I know y'all got 3 people and y'all ain't gonna drop a like. This is why I wish we gonna have your dad in the podcast, because not too many doctors on their off time they go and they actually doctors for official fight. So if this doctor ain't been a doctor for an official fight or fight himself, he has no idea what an actual punch with a 10-ounce glove can do to a motherfucker, especially if we're talking about a man standing 6'9". Look, Ogun, we're all about talking, and I love everything, every aspect you're saying. So when was the last time you went to the doctor? The last time I went to the doctor was probably it's been a while, probably about 3-4 years ago.
Damn.
I went to the doctor. It's been a while. It's been a minute. Absolutely, it's been a minute. I don't necessarily have too much faith in doctors, to be honest with you, because it's all like a Ponzi scheme.
Bullshit.
Just so you can spend some money and they're gonna give you some pills. And I'd be like, and then also like that, I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't have no reason to really feel like I went to the doctor other than like maybe if I had some type of crazy medical reason, like I couldn't breathe, or you know what I'm saying, like I'm pissing blood or some crazy shit. But I ain't had no problems like that. You know what I'm saying? I exercise regularly.
God, thank the Lord, boy. Thank the Lord, Jesus.
I ain't had no crazy reasons. I only be sick maybe like one time a year, and that's rare then. So I don't really have no reason to. So I just, for them to say when it comes to them that, and it seems like to you, you're a big Wilder fan, and I respect that because I'm a big Wilder fan too. Yes, and I love Wilder, but I just look at things from a different perspective, and I know one thing that crabs no. One, you don't necessarily have to go to the doctor for crabs, but two, nah, I've never had crabs, so
you should. What they gonna do?
What are they? They're probably just gonna give you subscribe it to you, and they're gonna try and get you addicted to it.
But if you get help from it, that's the benefit. So it's up to the person to be able to kick it or not, right?
Can I ask this? Would y'all say going to the doctor and getting some type of medicine is a performance enhancing drug rather than letting your body naturally adjust to what's going on and be able to build its own antibodies to fight what's happening in your body? Because if that's the case, if you guys think that's okay, then nobody should be disputing the vaccine.
I respect your opinion.
Saying about the COVID, and you should be more than willing to take the vaccine.
Why you saying y'all? Who said I said?
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying people in general. That's it. I'm like, you should be always. I did say y'all. I was talking about you too.
Hold on, nigga.
I'm coming at you, nigga.
All right, nigga.
I'm coming at you. So I'm like, if that's the case, then that means you said you willing to take the vaccine and you willing to anything they say about the COVID is absolutely true. I know we got a little bit off topic right here. We're gonna go back. We're gonna swing it all around. We're gonna blend it all together.
I ain't never said nothing about that, so I don't understand why you asking me. You gotta ask that man.
All right, I was just making sure.
We ain't making.
He said, "Where y'all from, man? We from Cali, dog. Cali originally, man. We in Memphis right now, though. Big Memphis. So shout out to Tennessee. Shout out to Tennessee, man. Yeah, we from Cali. Where you from, man?
This man didn't even know the state.
Go ahead, throw But like, man, subscribe. If you ain't like to subscribe here, man. We trying to give y'all some new, a little different content. We had anyways. That's all bullshit. Let's go back to the Fury gloves. We gonna make a. I'm gonna do a whole podcast, little on that itself. Look, Zen getting mad at me because I time, especially when I get this shit, I be flip flopping and fucking shit up.
Dallas, Texas.
Hey, shout out to Texas.
Texas.
Ain't Texas out there running crazy with the COVID?
We is too, motherfucker.
Absolutely, we're one of the top states.
Yeah, shut your ass up. You over here trying to put them on blast like we ain't over here in danger. Hey,
How in danger are we though?
All I gotta say is that night is still shaky. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I think it's only shaky because Deontay Wilder had a nerve to say,
come out of his mouth, I still feel it was shaky.
He should have never said that.
He had to say, you know that, man.
He didn't have to say shit. If he would have kept his ass,
his PR man was like, "Look, we gotta say something."
No, I don't believe that.
It's the suit. Yes,
I think Wilder said that on his own because after a while he could have just accepted that defeat.
No,
that's what. Can we just talk about it for a minute? Think about this.
Talking about this.
The first fight. We're gonna make this quick because this wasn't even supposed to be one of the topics. But Fury and Deontay Wilder was a draw. A lot of people would argue that Fury won. Right? Fury did not say no bullshit. He didn't disrespect Deontay Wilder. He didn't say woo woo this and that. He really was actually like he gave him his props. So for him to do that through the whole entirety of the time until they ended up fighting again, they fight again. Wilder loses. After the fight, Wilder gives him his props, but then he ends up saying later that it had to do with his costume. Like, you fuck a lot of shit up doing that. You should like if that was the case, that would have been the first thing that could have came out of your mouth after the fight was done. Like, yo, I wore this heavy ass costume and my legs was weak as hell. I had no power. He's one day later, whatever it may be, yo, that costume was crazy. I was just sitting in the back of the room for 30 minutes and niggas didn't want to say nothing. Like, I had a seat. There was a whole entire bench I could have sat down at to rest my legs and I wanted to sit there, but they didn't let me sit there. They said I had to stand. It was crazy. I know he didn't say that as me bullshit, but yeah, I'm talking shit. But yeah, that's the gist of it.
All I'm saying is, man, it seemed like you trying to hype on the narrative to get on Wilder, which is cool. That I love the devil advocate, man. I love that side.
Absolutely, I got to.
But I'm like, look, bro, if you don't tell me, you can honestly tell me that whole night what you saw wasn't sketchy, bro. Even the co-main event was that bullshit. Come on, bro. That whole night was on straight garbage time.
Hey, real quick.
How can you have a garbage time with a type of fight like Holyfield and Mike Tyson's fights were not garbage time when it was time? You saw an ear get bitten off. For goddamn,
we in a different.
I'm not hearing that mumbo jumbo bullshit. All I know is
right there.
That shit.
Deontay Wilder fanboy. Y'all know it's crazy.
Was out there.
Like, goddamn, you guys
and it was shaky.
Here.
Nobody ever disputed that Fury wasn't a cold motherfucker. Did anybody ever dispute that? All I know is what I saw. And what I saw is he struggled against 3 other opponents. I want to say struggle. He didn't any types of. Now you can say, oh, he was just toning up and he was just playing around. But I'm like, man, I'm not hearing that, man.
Okay, first and foremost, before I actually do a clap back to that, so I can debunk all that and go on some real shit. Ogun, we don't eat BBQ with no coleslaw on that joint. They do that out here, but we tell them motherfuckers take that coleslaw off that sandwich. Yeah, I ain't about to eat no motherfucking. That's nasty.
Nasty, man.
Nigga, keep my coleslaw separate, nigga.
And thrown in the garbage. And thrown in the garbage.
We don't do that. We're trying to though. They be like, you don't want the coleslaw on top of that. Like, hell no, we don't. That's nasty to the motherfucker. What you got? Look deeper into the Malik Scott. Remember, there's rumors of Wilder being drugged. So actually, it's very interesting. See, I'm not even gonna say. You already know how I'm going to. I have a very unique perspective on the Malik Scott situation because I actually have an older brother who worked with them for a time being, and I was given some information during the time before Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder got close. Okay. Hell no coleslaw. So I gotta be honest with you, whether that was rigged or not, I can't really speak on that. Whether if that was a legit KO, if you watch it, however it may be, you can look in very many instances when it comes to boxing in general, where you're gonna be wondering a little bit about how the outcome goes. You gotta understand this is a lot of those boxing organizations, the promoters, the titles. This is ran by mafia. Okay. and that goes back. You can look at that up. If you don't believe me, look it up. This is mafia ran. So you know what I'm saying? For it to be rigged, for it to be put in a place where someone's supposed to win, I dispute that. I'm also not going to agree with it. What I'm going to say is, though, it is very interesting that before the Malik Scott, let me say this: before the Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder fight, they weren't that close, but they knew each other to an extent. They were friends. After the fight, they still weren't that close, and a lot of y'all don't know that. A lot of y'all don't know that actually Malik Scott and Joseph Parker trained at the same gym for a long time, and they're very close. That's why Joseph Parker and Deontay Wilder ended up being somewhat friends as well later because of Malik Scott. So a lot of you guys think that Malik Scott somehow benefited from the loss to Wilder, but actually there was a period of time after the loss to Wilder because my older brother was training with him. You know what I'm saying? That was something that came along a little bit later down the line, and now you can see how close they are. He's taken care of. So I don't really put that situation, like it's hard for me to see that situation as something that's rigged, drugged, whatever it may be, just because of the relationship that Malik Scott and Deontay Wilder have now that wasn't necessarily there before. What you think and how it goes. So, but yeah, no coleslaw over here, man. We ain't fucking with the coleslaw. No BBQ. If I'm having a pulled pork slide, you ain't putting no coleslaw on that shit. You gonna fuck it up.
Too many people like coleslaw. I think like your mom's is the only one I see eat coleslaw.
My mama love coleslaw. She'll make coleslaw
She the
with
only
every
one
barbecue.
I seen make coleslaw,
and she'll make that joint from scratch. Like she'll make that coleslaw from scratch.
That's what I'm saying. She's
and
the
I'll eat
only
it.
person I see. Well, my mama eat it too. But
I won't say I love it. Like I love my mama food, but I won't say coleslaw not my shit. But I'll eat it just because I'm like, it is a good like it is kind of with some beans.
It works.
Yeah,
she always makes the food good to where
she
it
makes
works.
the sides where it's like it complements it. It's not like just like man, it's just some coleslaw I gotta eat on the side. Like what the fuck?
Worth you to eat.
This shit just here. Like I ain't about to eat this.
She put her own spice to it. I say.
Yeah.
Dang, she made me. Oh, I gotta.
But that's good. You know, my mama from the man. A lot of people be forgetting that because I was in Cali so long. But my mama from the South. She from the Gulf. She from the Gulf, and my daddy not too far off it. But shout out to the people, man. Shout out to the people, man. How was y'all Tuesday, man? Me and Zen already talked about it. Our Tuesday wasn't the greatest, but this shit makes it all worth it, man. I enjoy this shit right here.
There's rumors Malik Scott being paid to drug Wilder.
Oh shit. And see, this is why I love this. This is why I love when we have someone in the chat. This is why, you know, shout out to Estrada. He's not here right now, but Estrada is usually the person who gives us some information that we don't know nothing about. For you to say that, oh gun, that shit hits close to home. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have a podcast with my brother. I would love to talk about this with him and see what he thinks about this. That's crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope that's not the case, man. I hope that's not the case because if that's the case, man, that means Wilder. That means one or two things: either Wilder wasn't taking care of him the way you think he was taking care of him, you know, make sure he's straight and doesn't have to worry about money, or two, he's not good with his money. He put himself in a position where he had to take some so he can pay something off, if that makes sense. Because that just doesn't make any sense, man. It seemed like they was brothers, man. It seemed like everything was good. Is this recent rumors right here?
That's true.
We wasn't on Wilder to address that. Go ahead and give me a wrench. Damn. So, hey, is that what Wilder was talking about when he said he found out he had some snakes in the camp? Because that was one of the biggest things that he kept. So he was like, man, we found out we had some snakes in the camp. And a lot of people thought he was talking about. God damn, how am I forgetting his name? Because he's a fighter, but his co-trainer that stopped the actual fight, a lot of people thought he was talking about him. Oh my God! See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because y'all want to know something, man? I'm not saying, like, this is a disclaimer. I don't know if any of this is true. I don't know if any of this is what it is. I am going to try and get my brother on here. We're going to try and do an interview with him through a StreamYard because I would like to see if he would be interested in some of the details. Obviously, not to a point where we're disrespecting another man's life because we're never going to be about that. I brought him on a camp. I always wondered what came out of that. Was that him asking him to be a sparring partner? Because Malik was, from what it seemed like he was in Cali a lot, and then also he ended up moving over to I can't remember what area. I think it was New Zealand where Joseph, but I think Joseph Parker. No, he was still in the UK. It was in the UK. All of a sudden, you see kind of Malik Scott always around Wilder, always around promoting. You know what I'm saying? Just always there, boosting them up like the. You know what I'm saying? He was good when that happened. So I thought they was really. I thought really there was some that connected, some type of connection happened. So what it's rumors at the end of the day. Everything's rumor, everything is hearsay. You know what I'm saying? There's three sides to every story. So that's why I put a disclaimer for what I'm saying. It would be interesting. That my bro told me about when he was working with him. I'm just like, so it's like that's why I'm like,
so you thinking differently now about some things?
I would never have thought though that would ever be a rumor that come up. And so for that to come up, yeah, I am. And now I'm like shit. Let's see what the third fight does. But a lot of people can still say, even if that was the case, if you go back to the first fight, Fury struggled. A lot of people might still say Fury won, but he still got hurt, right?
So
but if you're talking about real quick, if you're talking about dudes who are just looking at it from a boxing perspective and they're not talking about any of the outside noise, Fury fought differently than he did in the first fight. He put Wilder on his back foot. But if you are looking at it from a boxing perspective and you're not just a Fury fanboy, you know that Wilder, a lot of people say Wilder doesn't know how to fight on his back foot, but that's not true. Wilder has a great jab off his back foot. If you haven't watched this fight,
he has good distance off his back foot.
Absolutely great, and he knows how to line that right hand up off the back foot.
Did he even line
Wilder
it
is
up?
A counter puncher.
But did he line a counter punch up?
No, he was being like overly aggressive. It was weird. It was like he was just kind of just like he was acting like he never does that. He's never a motherfucker just like a lot of people. Well, he goes windmill style and he starts swinging crazy. He only does that when he sees him hurt. Other than that, if you watch his fights, that man doesn't throw more than 2 to 3 combinations. 1, 2, 3. But he 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. He never goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
3 or 4 though.
But it'll be in a combination of a two punch combination. Yeah. He never does more than a 2-3 punch combination. He never, unless he's hurt and he'll start swinging.
It's just like, come on, bro. Every fight, even the first fight, you seen Wilder throw some crazy shit. I didn't see him throw no crazy shit.
Ogun said you haven't seen or heard from Malik Scott since that night. Damn, I didn't know. I don't know. I wasn't checking for Malik, so I didn't know about these rumors.
Nothing.
I didn't know about these rumors, so I'd have to.
But just think about it though, bro. All I'm saying is this.
That's crazy.
Come on, bro.
That's not the case, man. That's crazy, man.
Think about.
I'm not like they're in that because it's a. Go ahead.
Think about how. Remember Wilder say he was whatever. Think about if he was working on that. Say he had a game plan. You say Wilder had a game plan and it just didn't work. That means he would revert back to him at least throwing crazy, giving it a shot. He didn't even give it a shot, bro. Like he didn't.
He was just done.
But that's my point. When he, at first when he fired his coach, I'm thinking even like, because I really feel in my honest heart, bro. If he really just threw crazy at least one time and hit Fury once, I know it would have changed the fight somehow. Because Fury would have felt it. He felt it the first time, and I don't even feel like Wilder hit him that hard, honestly, either of the times.
Well, the first time, his first knockdown, he didn't hit him that hard.
The second time
caught him when he was ducking real low. The second time, he really hit him.
That man hard.
But it was because he remembered what happened the first time, and he kept throwing that same combination, assuming that at some point Fury was going to duck his head low again. That's the only difference, though, I see in the game plan when it came to that fight, even though that might have been the case. Fury started being rather than a counter, moving on his feet, defensive. He moved forward the whole time. So there's not going to be many instances where he's going to need to duck his head that low because he's not get caught with something like that.
Yeah,
because he's a big boy. That's why he's a big motherfucker. He's bigger than Wilder, so he fought the same way he did the first fight. And he's like, you can't do that if you fight against someone who made adjustments. You're gonna have to change your game the same way they did. So it's kind of all how you look at it. Ogun said, I would be more aggressive if I had something in my gloves, knowing it could cause damage on contact. That's a very interesting perspective. Yeah. You probably wouldn't be as scared as getting hit back with something if you know what you're going to throw is going to make your opponent react a lot more than they would than in the first fight. But that's all speculation, right? Because we got to think about this, right? there's two different parts of the glove gate. The first part of the glove gates is that he didn't have his hand all the way in there and he was slapping with a loose glove. The second part now is all of a sudden there might have been something in there that could have caused more damage. So it's like we kind of figure it out, because if he had something extra in there, do you think it would have been loose the way it was? Maybe, possibly. But when we're talking about 10-ounce gloves, I'm telling you, 10-ounce gloves, there's not much room in that joint. We're talking about a 10. But I'm like, man, when we talking about the highest level of boxing, and
I'm just hoping, man. I hate hearing about the whole Malik Scott shit, man. I hope that's not true. That's fucked up.
I believe it's true.
I hope not, man. That's fucked up.
I just feel like, because this is something that everything that somebody's coming in the chat and usually said,
we'll chase the bullet.
absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely right. But I don't know, man. It's hard for me to believe that they put something
ever before he turns off his camera before he go out. And I just never seen Wilder ever.
But see, I'd be the type of nigga to be like, why would it be so blatant? If you're really hiding something, why would you make it a point for everybody to know that you turn your cameras off?
I have no clue. I'm just saying, I just never seen that. I ain't saying that's what he did. I'm just saying that's weird. But it's also weird that I've never seen Wilder
think that way.
Not have his gloves ready, and they just coming fresh out of the box before the fight. Never seen that. I've never seen that. You tell me a fight, and I'll be sorry. I'll be like, all right, my bad. Bro.
He could have chose to do that. That's probably was his choice.
Come on, bro. Nigga, so who checked the gloves? How we know? How
that's crazy. No way.
I'm just saying, if nobody checked his gloves. Who said that they checked Fury's gloves?
They did check the.
I didn't see nobody analyze them gloves. He put them bitches on his hands and he just went right out.
You don't think that they already looked at them joints before they gave it to him?
Girl. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's just crazy, man.
I'm just saying, how come every other fight we watched
that they never showed that angle? They never put the camera on it during that time.
Crazy, bro. I seen Floyd's fights. I've never seen that. Floyd always stylish. He'd be the first one to have something brand new.
When did they show them? They show them always when they wrapping their hands. It's always the same thing. They show when they wrapping their hands.
I see sometimes when they put their gloves, but they don't. You just told me they don't show nobody else's.
I couldn't tell you that.
That's weird. That's that weird.
No, because nigga, it's with Bob Earl.
Man, I've never seen that with Bud. Right?
I don't watch enough Bud.
Come on, I seen Bud's fights. I've never seen that. I've never seen it.
I don't watch enough.
So you can't say Bob Arum, but I've never seen with his top star. That's his top star.
You're gonna have different theatrics when it comes down to first and foremost, Terrence Crawford is for sure not his top star, because we're already talking about Tyson Fury. So that's wrong.
Now too. But before this, who was his top star? Okay.
Before Tyson Fury, Lomachenko.
Come on, bro. Terrence up there with Lomachenko. You see
no, he's not. He's nowhere close.
The money?
You're talking about money. Getting paid is different than what you're bringing in. Lomachenko has been the face of ESPN for as long as he's been there.
All I'm saying is I never seen. You seen that with Loma's fights?
I don't watch that many Loma's fights.
I've never seen it when I've seen one.
I'm like, bro, no, because I'm not gonna say that because I ain't watched a Loma fight like extensively where I'm like, okay, what are they doing before the fight? And I know you haven't either.
I seen for sure a Bud.
Nah, ain't nobody ever gonna tell me because nigga, no, I know you are not watching. Remember in the back of your head, we're like every fight, I don't see this. Are thinking about this particular fight. See, I think that's wrong because a lot of fighters have new fresh pair of gloves when they go into that fight. They have gloves strictly for that fight. They're not gonna wear old gloves. Same way a nigga about the hoop.
I'm not saying
in the NBA they're gonna have fresh sneakers on.
Like, why wouldn't you have the gloves prepared or ready already? Why would you have them just come?
They are prepared. They're in the box. They are prepared. What are you talking about?
They was getting them out the plastic. What do you mean?
That's prepared. How do you prepare gloves any other way?
So you think we're gonna break them in? So nobody breaks their gloves in prior to fights?
No. If they have new gloves, how are you gonna break them in if you have nothing to hit it on?
Everybody gets new gloves before they fight.
I say everybody does. Whoever wants them probably gets new gloves.
All I'm saying is I just never seen that before. That's all I'm saying.
You're crazy. You crazy if you think that. Niggas have just strictly fight gloves.
Told you what I've seen.
And I'm telling you wrong.
What I've seen?
You're strictly wrong because nigga, boxing is the same way as NBA, bro, as any other professional sport.
I'm not saying
if I'm going into a game, let me finish. If I'm going into a game and I want sneakers strictly for this game, they're gonna be for the game. if I'm going into a boxing fight and I want gloves strictly for this boxing fight, that's what it's going to be for. It's not going to be the gloves that I was practicing in, which you're not even going to be practicing in 10-ounce gloves for the whole entirety of my training camp.
So are basketball players just putting on them shoes and then going straight to hoop? They're not practicing, warming up in them?
They warm up, yeah, because they have a warm up period.
Wilder put those gloves on really shortly after he walked out. That's all I'm saying. I saw it.
You don't think he's hitting mitts before?
All I'm saying is I saw him have new gloves and I've never seen that.
I'm gonna debunk all this right now because when you seen him put those new gloves on, there was a time period before he walked out. So what do you think he's doing during this time? It's on him what he chooses to do. He can either hit mitts, warm up, or he can just stand there. So that's not an excuse. That's on the fighter, and it chooses on him what he wants to do. Do you want to break the gloves in? Do you want to hit the mitts? Do you have a big ass king costume on where you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to do too much because I don't want to get too tired?
Even now, all that was even weird to me. Never seen that before. Ever.
And who chose that?
I'm talking about Fury side too. Never seen that.
You never seen crazy ass walkouts?
You ever seen like Furies? No, never seen that.
It's not supposed to be like someone else's. Like see, that's the problem.
That's all I'm saying, man.
People try to find things that don't exist. You're saying I've never seen that before. Why would his interest be anything similar to someone else's? We've been seeing all this year, past year, and the year before that of crazy interests coming out. This nigga Joshua being raised on a platform on some weird shit. Niggas taking forever to come out like, bro, this nigga Adesanya was dancing and shit. So you're gonna say it's weird because a nigga had some bitches lift him up on a chair because it was an eccentric walkout
versus why Wilder had something 45 pounds? Yes. Why he can effortlessly not have his legs tired on him. He could just get to the ring fresh.
See, I can't.
Wilder, for some reason, wants to be
talking about. This is why I hate talking about this.
But I didn't want to bring it up.
That's why I hate talking about this shit because I'm like, nigga, who chose that?
That's what I'm saying. It's just interesting.
He thinks somebody
like that fight.
Nigga, your boy chose that, so you get on that nigga. But he a dumb nigga.
But he didn't even reveal the costume.
He's stupid until
later.
That's on him.
That to me means he didn't even really know what he was coming out.
Oh my god, that's one of the stupidest shits I ever heard in my life. I've never heard nothing that dumb in my life. Why the fuck would you put a costume on that you didn't agree to put on? You already paid. He's not under Bob Earl. He's not under Bob Earl. He's under Al Heyman.
But it was on the stage.
He don't even know his
had to do it. He had to do it. Al Heyman money on the line. God. It wasn't going to put with. So you don't let Fury outshow him. He's not going to let him do that.
You're talking off emotion. You know nothing.
He's not going to do that.
So whose choice was that to not let someone outdo him?
So, bro, all I'm saying is something.
There was.
He just really admitted that it was Wilder's choice to not let someone outdo him.
Position's not hard to make. Saying, okay, let me be the smart one and say, don't fuck that suit.
I never seen Floyd come out in a big ass suit. That nigga came out with a rapper every time. So that nigga had the same choice.
His MO, though.
That was the same.
He never came out with any type of anything on his face or any type of thing.
So whose choice was that?
A hat. He had
whose choice was that? Let's get down to the motherfucking man up and grab your nuts. Whose choice was that?
What do you mean grab your nuts? I told you what.
Because you keep blaming something on somebody else when you're literally saying that was never his MO.
It's not what I thought was going to be. He's not going to be like, well, now let me get up out of this and just go out there.
That sounds like a bitch to me. If you a man with all that money, why wouldn't you say that?
I'm not trying
you wouldn't say that?
Nigga like this. Huh?
You wouldn't say that? You just gonna go with the flow?
If I get paid, yeah. Fuck it.
No one's gonna take your money if you say I'm not wearing this.
Bro, the suit was already made. He wasn't gonna just let the suit go to waste.
And who asked for the suit to be made?
I'm guessing him. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It could have been his team. They could have all agreed.
And now we're there. They all agreed.
I don't know.
So the reason why you're not saying it because you was the nigga who asked for this shit to be made, and now you're on the shit. So whose fault is that? That has nothing to do with no outside world coming in and this, that. That's on you, nigga. You made bad decisions. Man up, grab your nuts, and be like, I fucked up. Next time I'm gonna come out with no suit and I'm gonna be ready to fight. If we're talking about a boxing perspective, and this is what I talk about, like all that outside noise. If you look at that joint, he got his ass out the fuck. And that's what I talk about. All that extra shit, man. That be bullshit. Talking about dents in their head. Nigga, I trained with a nigga with a dent in his head from getting hit too hard with a regular boxing glove. See, it's like That's why it's hard for me sometimes when I talk about some of this shit because niggas are just talking about perspective. Nigga, the fuck you talking about? Floyd never fought in Black History Month. Only on Mexican holiday. Wilder is for blacks. Floyd pandered to the Mexicans. No, that's wrong. Floyd did not pander to the Mexicans. Floyd pandered to money. Floyd knew, hey, if my persona is being a bad guy and I choose to always fight on national, what was it? Always fight on Cinco de Mayo. Niggas are gonna want me to lose. So more motherfuckers are gonna tune in to watch me lose, especially if I'm fighting the Mexican. Y'all gotta understand this. This is not just a sport, it's business. People are trying to make the most money they can off of it. But when you're looking at it because you're a fan, you're so emotional and you have your emotional thoughts in it, that has nothing to do with it. All this shit is, especially at the level that Wilder is on, Floyd is on, Fury is on, they make their own decisions. They choose what the fuck they want. I want to wear this when I'm walking into the entrance. This is the music I want. I want to have this motherfucker rapping. Every choice is made by them and their team. It don't matter how weird shit look, how off shit look. This shit was different from his last fight. It's most likely because they got so big-headed or they felt a certain way where they were like, yo, I'm really going to stunt. And that's what you saw in those interests. You saw Wilder and Fury trying to outdo each other when it came to their interests. That's all that shit was. And in the end, if you're going for the excuse Wilder made, it backfired on Wilder. But to this day, I still believe that's one of the crazy excuses in the world to blame it on a suit. So Floyd did not pander to the Mexicans. Floyd pandered to no one. Floyd did also, he did not, you know what I'm saying, uplift the blacks. That wasn't his thing. He was all about money. Wilder, he fought on Black History Month. Wilder kind of fell into being like the black fighter or being for the black people because he did that segment where he got mad at that reporter for the whole to this day point. And so it kind of fell on. So that's how I feel about it. I'm not saying that that's truth or fact. That's my opinion. I'm very adamant in my opinion. And I'll fight for that motherfucker today. That we're an hour and 9 in, so let's go ahead and get up out of this motherfucker. We're gonna end. It's already 12. I already fucked up. I wanted this shit to already be over because I gotta be up early. You want to end 5150 style? How we doing it?
Nah, I ain't feeling that shit today. Maybe tomorrow, y'all.
He said that yesterday, so this y'all hold him on this.
I know this day was gonna be like this.
Hold him on this. Hold him on this. Wilder never said anything about the suit a reporter ever overheard Wilder speaking. I know I didn't say Wilder asked for it. I said it fell upon him because of that whole interview. Because he had that interview with that reporter, and it went viral. It kind of like the black community, the black stroke kind of fell on where it's like, okay, well, you gonna say that, we expect you to kind of speak on it. Obviously, it was up to him to continue on, and he did. And I respect him for it. I respect him for, you know, fighting for the people, and I respect him to the absolutely max. But you know, I didn't think it was something necessarily that he necessarily was looking for. I think it kind of fell on him accidentally. But we gonna get up out of here. Go ahead, throw a like. We're not gonna end on the 5150. No, it's 12:10 up in this motherfucker. We're gonna be back tomorrow with some new topics. You said you can't believe Wilder's excuse, my brother. You said you can't believe Wilder's excuse. Yeah, I may have said that. I'm not sure which particular part. I'm not gonna go. I gotta end this though, man. No disrespect. Come back tomorrow. We're gonna be back on tomorrow, man. Cause I gotta get some sleep. I gotta be up early, so
Time be moving.
I'm already we way past the time we were supposed to go, and part of it was because the first stream ended. We was 19 minutes in.
Probably been done because we'd have been like, all right,
yeah, it's 50 minutes, and we would have started. We'd already stopped, so we went a little bit longer, way longer. So we gonna be up out here, man. Shout out to the people. Throw a like if you didn't throw a like. We out of here though. Much love to y'all. We're gonna be back tomorrow. We're gonna be back with some new topics. Stay blessed, people. Shit gonna get harder, I promise.